I know for a fact that almost every single one of you listening right now has made a grand promise to change your life, guys. You sat down with enthusiasm, wrote out a detailed schedule, studied every productivity technique you could find, and vowed that tomorrow would mark the start of a brand new chapter. Yet here you are today, repeating the exact same patterns, breaking the promises you made to your own soul, and carrying that heavy weight of quiet disappointment. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself where things actually went wrong? Why do you keep sabotaging your own progress even when you genuinely want to build a better future? I am Rizman from softbank.id, and today we are going to dive deep into the real psychological trap that keeps you stuck in this frustrating cycle so that you can break free once and for all. Let us start by looking at why so many people fail despite having all the right intentions. There is a profound irony in how human behavior works. The main reason you keep breaking your promises to change is actually because you know too much theory. As you consume more and more self-improvement content, your chances of staying trapped can surprisingly go up. To help you see this clearly, picture a rainy afternoon at a bustling cafe in the heart of Bengaluru. The street outside is alive with energy as entrepreneurs and creators race toward their dreams. You sit near the window with your laptop open, ready to work on an ambitious strategy worth $50,000 or to master a high-value skill that could change your career forever. You tell yourself that today is the day everything changes. However, the moment you open your work files, a familiar feeling of resistance creeps in. Your hand reaches for your smartphone, and before you know it, 45 minutes have slipped away while scrolling through mindless videos. When you finally catch yourself, guilt sets in. But instead of admitting that you gave in to distraction, your intellect steps in to save your ego. Because you have watched videos and read articles about brain chemistry and dopamine regulation, your mind crafts an incredibly sophisticated excuse. It tells you that your dopamine levels are currently depleted from scrolling, which means your cognitive focus is compromised. It convinces you that forcing yourself to work right now will produce low-quality results. So the most rational decision is to rest for the remainder of the day and start fresh tomorrow at 5 in the morning when your mind is completely reset. Notice how clever your mind has become, guys. Is that scientific theory truly preventing you from taking action? Or is it merely an intellectual shield designed to protect you from the discomfort of hard work? This is identical to someone using philosophical beliefs about destiny to justify sitting around doing nothing all day. The more knowledge you acquire about psychology and productivity, the more skilled your brain becomes at constructing logical justifications for standing still. Your mind takes valid concepts and twists them into convenient exit doors whenever execution becomes uncomfortable. Along with these intellectual excuses, there is another psychological trap that constantly ruins your momentum. It is called the all-or-nothing mindset. Imagine setting an alarm for 5 in the morning to go for a run through the peaceful paths of a park in Mumbai. You are determined to build a world-class routine. But when morning comes, you accidentally sleep through the alarm and wake up at 6:30 instead. Immediately, a negative thought pattern takes over. Your mind declares that the entire morning is ruined, and because the day did not start perfectly, you might as well abandon all your plans for the rest of the day. You decide to eat unhealthily, waste time online, and promise to try again next week. The exact same pattern happens when people try to break a bad habit. You manage to stay focused for 2 days, but on the third day, you give in to a minor distraction. Instead of dusting yourself off and getting back on track immediately, you tell yourself that your entire progress is reset to zero. You figure that since you already failed, you might as well indulge for the rest of the week and restart on Monday. But logistically speaking, guys, one tiny slip does not destroy your long-term progress. What actually destroys your future is your conscious decision to abandon the journey altogether. A single wrong step during a long walk does not mean you should throw yourself off a cliff. If you look closely at these scenarios, you will realize that laziness and lack of motivation are not the real root causes of your failure. They are merely visible symptoms of a much deeper conflict taking place beneath the surface. You are not fighting against a simple lack of energy, you are fighting against the old version of yourself. Every single time you make a decision to transform your life, two distinct identities enter a battle inside your mind. On one side, you have your future self. This is the visionary version of you that wants to build discipline, master valuable skills, generate thousands of US dollars in income, and live a life of high achievement. On the other side of the battlefield stands your old self. This identity has lived with your old habits, fears, and comfort zones for years. It knows your exact weaknesses and it understands how to manipulate your emotions. Every time you attempt to break away from the old routine, your old self feels threatened. It realizes that if you succeed, its existence will be erased. So it begins to whisper subtle doubts directly into your consciousness. It tells you to wait until tomorrow. It tells you that one small day off will not hurt. And it reminds you how tired you feel right now. Many people believe they are struggling against laziness, but in reality, they are fighting an entrenched identity that is desperately defending its territory. Renowned behavioral experts have highlighted that lasting transformation never begins with external results. It begins with identity. Every action you repeat day after day acts as a vote for the type of person you believe you are. If you have spent 5 years procrastinating and avoiding hard choices, your brain has accepted the identity of a procrastinator as an absolute truth. This is why the cycle of change feels so predictable, guys. On day 1 of a new habit, you are filled with fresh inspiration and excitement. On day 2, as the novelty fades, your old self begins to introduce subtle doubts. By day 3, the psychological resistance peaks and you feel an intense urge to surrender. This does not happen because you are inherently weak or incapable. It happens because your old identity is pulling every lever available to pull you back into your comfort zone. Starting today, stop treating your struggle as a battle against generic laziness. Focus all your energy on recognizing and defeating that one quiet whisper that appears right before you throw in the towel. To win this internal war, you must realize that relying on pure willpower is a losing strategy. Willpower functions like a battery in a smartphone. Every decision you make throughout the day drains a portion of that energy. By the time evening arrives, your mental reserves are exhausted, leaving you completely vulnerable to old temptations. If you want consistent success, you need a resilient system that operates smoothly, regardless of how you feel on any given day. The first pillar of an effective system is radical simplicity. Stop filling your daily planner with endless task lists that make your brain feel overwhelmed before you even begin. Instead, narrow your focus down to exactly 3 high-impact actions every single day. These 3 actions must have a direct connection to your primary long-term goals. If your objective is to build financial strength, your primary task for the day might be refining a business offer or mastering a high-value skill. If your goal is physical health, your task is completing 30 minutes of focused exercise. Once you complete those 3 essential actions, give yourself permission to mark the day as a complete victory. The second pillar of a reliable system is intentional environment design. Environment will almost always overpower individual willpower over time. If your smartphone rests on your desk right next to your computer while you work, the cognitive friction required to resist checking notifications will slowly drain your focus. If unhealthy snacks are easily accessible in your kitchen, maintaining a healthy lifestyle becomes an uphill battle. You must actively engineer your surroundings. Make the entry barrier for productive habits effortless, while creating maximum friction for destructive habits. Hide your distractions in another room and place your work materials directly in front of you. The third pillar requires you to eliminate the dangerous illusion of fake productivity. Many people trick themselves into believing they are making progress by engaging in elaborate morning rituals, color-coding daily schedules, or spending hours meditating without ever taking real action. While these practices can be beneficial in moderation, they become toxic when used as a substitute for execution. Reading about success, watching endless educational content, or organizing your desk for 3 hours will not move you toward your financial or personal targets. Always evaluate your daily actions by asking one simple question: does this specific activity have a direct line of sight to my desired outcome? If the answer is no, step away and focus on what truly matters. Before we wrap up this narrative, let us explore three crucial analytical perspectives that will deepen your understanding of human growth. The first perspective centers on cognitive overload in the digital era. In our modern hyper-connected world, your brain is bombarded with thousands of inputs every single hour. When you continually gather information about self-improvement without putting it into practice, you trigger a state of severe mental fatigue. Your mind spends so much energy analyzing methods, comparing strategies, and worrying about optimal approaches that it runs out of power when the time comes to execute. True clarity comes not from consuming more information, but from taking decisive action on what you already know. The second perspective involves the strategic manipulation of behavioral friction. Modern technology companies hire top researchers to remove every ounce of friction from their platforms, ensuring that you can scroll, watch, and consume content without a single moment of resistance. To reclaim your life, you must turn this exact strategy against your worst habits. If you spend too much time on social media, log out after every session or change your account passwords to something complex. By intentionally introducing physical and mental obstacles between yourself and bad habits, you give your conscious mind the crucial extra seconds it needs to make a better choice. The third perspective focuses on neuroplasticity and the compounding value of micro-victories. Every single time you feel the urge to procrastinate, but choose to perform the work anyway, a subtle rewiring occurs inside your brain. You physically strengthen the neural pathways associated with self-control and execution. You do not transform your identity through one heroic, massive effort that happens once a year. You transform your identity through hundreds of tiny, deliberate choices made on quiet Tuesday afternoons when nobody is watching. Every small victory builds momentum, making the next correct decision slightly easier than the last. At the end of the day, guys, your life will never be transformed by finding a magical new framework or absorbing another hour of advice. Real change only happens when you align your daily actions with your ultimate vision. Stop searching for grand secrets, stop looking for clever justifications, and stop allowing the old version of yourself to dictate your future. You already possess all the knowledge you need to take the next step. As soon as this story ends, do not look for another distraction or scroll to the next piece of content. Close your screen, stand up, and immediately execute the one task you have been putting off all week. That single act of immediate execution is the bridge that connects the person you are today with the person you are destined to become. Take charge of your story, stay resilient, and make today count, guys.